What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's auction deal stream. Got Squid, Troy, Chuck, and Ben.
Let's
What's
get
up,
to it.
guys?
I'm hoping, for a big week this week. I think last week, not too many big hitters. So maybe the luck is on our side for the community this week.
Talking about not big hitters, don't forget, look at the Final Eight in March Madness. No one predicted those teams here.
FAU, baby.
You
We
and
got
the
ourselves
FAU.
bracket tournament, so
Is anybody
excited.
alive?
yeah. Well, so it goes off by points. So the person that has the most correct picks in terms of like matches, correct places wins.
Does anybody have any live teams left?
That's a good question. I think so. I think there's a few for sure.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I could see a couple people having UConn maybe, but I would imagine there aren't a whole lot of Florida Atlantic.
I gotta say, I have a friend.
I have
at
UConn.
FAU and UM. He put all the way.
Well,
He went to FAU and he likes Miami.
yeah, makes sense.
I'll try to get it. I'll send you guys the picture of his bracket. It's hilarious.
The other day I called Chuck at 11 o'clock at night, and he couldn't talk to me because he was watching the pickleball tournament on Show 8.
Pickleball, that's what us old people are supposed to be playing. It looks like it's like tennis for tards.
Looks like he's standing on like a ping pong table.
Yeah. Did we lose Ben?
I'm right here.
I
Oh.
think Ben fell off the chair after your last comment.
I was just making sure he was still there.
Oh, I'm here. Don't you
All
worry.
right.
I'm always here.
You loom. Come on, DJ, drive this truck faster.
Bobby.
Get to our barn here, Bobby. How's the land sales going? Good?
The redemption is going good, yeah.
Redemption's
Oh,
Redemption.
we're live, Chuck. Chuck, we're live. Come on.
Redemptions. The redemptions.
Here we
Uh-oh.
go.
All right.
What's it gonna be?
All right.
Oh, I just had an Accelerate baby last night.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. Accelerate is a son of Looking at Lucky, one of Chuck's favorite stallions.
An old veteran.
Old vet. I'm gonna go look up this mom, Chuck. See anything you like in there? Tis
Well,
Mouthfeel.
Champ Pegasus in the second dam was a really good turf horse out in California about 10 years ago. Obviously Salt Champ herself was a good horse, a really good horse, champion in Argentina. Tis Champ, the dam of this one, hasn't had a lot of runners in this country. The one that is showing by Liam's map, the Colt Seal June, is racing in Japan, so it's hard to get a real good feel for that one. But the second and third dams are mostly South American, with a lot of black type, but not things that we're gonna to see very often.
Well, don't forget the Champ Pegasus, right? Won the was second in the Breeders' Cup, and she raced in the States and made over $1 million, and I believe was a sire.
Yeah, Champ Pegasus was a good horse. Good,
Yeah.
really good, strong, solid turf horse.
Yep. Yeah. So the second and third dam, matter of fact, I just read an article that, because we're breeding so early, that it takes 4 or 5 foals to really just get a broodmare going now because they're just so young. but this definitely, has the breeding to really do pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a filly that you think is going to run real early, because Accelerate was much better as a 3-year-old, and it was really good as a 4 and 5
4-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Tis Now babies generally, he was really good at a mile and a quarter, so the early season races aren't probably going to be for this one, but Accelerate is a horse that's kind of a little bit under the radar, to be honest, because he had a great record as an older horse, and he's champion older horse, and there's no reason to think that he can't be a good stallion.
Yep, I agree.
All right. See number 2. Another Accelerate.
What's
Back
going
to
on
back.
here? Matt?
Colby went to Troy's barn last night. That's what happened.
Oh,
Oh, this one's out of a completely different type of mare.
Yeah.
It's an Accelerate that's out of a Speightstown mare, which is kind of the opposite of Tisnow. You would think Tisnow is probably closer to the far reaches of distance ability, where Speightstown's have been super fast. He's been a great speed influence, and they have stretched out as he's gotten older and gotten better mares. But this is kind of a really a nice mix of stamina and speed, and the dam is young. She hasn't has only had the one horse that made the races, but there's a couple good horses in her pedigree, and like I said, kind of bullish on Accelerate. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, matter of fact, it has a older full brother named Reagan. Was a $210,000 purchase, and the 21, the horse's name now is My Awesome Dancer, and that horse was sold. A matter of fact, just a week ago at the OBS 2-year-old sale for $40,000.
There you go.
I would
There's
just like to
action
shout- I
and
would just
pedigree.
I would just like to give a shout out to Chuck for incorporating the term bullish into his vocabulary.
You like that?
I did.
And a matter of fact, this dam, History Supreme, as a yearling, was bought for $425,000.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's definitely got plenty of pedigree and a newer stallion. This horse is pretty exciting.
I like
let's
it.
see. Can we go 3 Accelerates in a row? City
Oh.
of
Ooh,
Light.
City of Light, son of Quality Road, who is very, very active in the sales.
I'm looking
But
this one up.
this
boys.
is a nice pedigree.
Yeah,
For a filly. You have City of Light, who's who did pretty well as a freshman stallion. He's got all kinds of different runners, turf, dirt. There seems to be stretching out as well. That of a No Name Never mare, who was a winner overseas and stake placed here on the turf. The second dam is obviously the Machiavellian mare that has some black type and as a black type producer. The third dam as well. The fourth dam is Saki, who was one of the best horses at a distance in England about 15, 20 years ago. So there's a ton of quality turf horses in this pedigree. It's just a real solid pedigree.
yep. This is one of those pedigrees that you honestly do dream about owning. again, especially if you love the turf, name, no, no, nay, oh, geez. No Nay Never, is a horse that I believe overseas is his stud fees maybe $150,000.
Yeah, he was a Wesley Ward horse that
Yep.
started off at Keeneland for Coolmore, and he's had a great start to his career, and I guess it's been almost a decade now, but he's been a big time producer over there, and he does bring some speed to the table. No Name Never was a fast horse that won early, so that's kind of an interesting mix because City of Light was a horse who was a Grade 1 winner as a sprinter, and he was also a Grade 1 winner going a mile, and a Grade 1 winner going a mile and an eighth. So there's a lot of versatility, and I mean this is a really nice pedigree, and I do like it a lot.
Yeah, matter of fact, this horse's name was just named. It's called Alexandra's Song. And a matter of fact, she was $145,000 RNA. So there was bids up to 145,000, and they didn't want to take it. The older siblings, a Twirling Candy, which is a 2022. That horse's name is You Gotta Have Hope. So they're definitely breeding to. It looks like it's a Lane's End mare because they bred it to City of Light, Twirling Candy, and Union Rags. So it definitely looks like it's Lane's End or someone is involved with Lane's End mare because they breed all two Lane's End stallions. But it's a really, again, top pedigree here. I'm just looking at it more and more, and I wouldn't mind owning this horse myself.
Yeah, and when it went through the sale, it was a week. Well, it was a short yearling, so that was quite a while ago.
Yeah,
and the fact that she RNA'd for 145,000 shows that that they weren't going to just accept a lower bid for her. They liked her.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, because it's named, the people that own it is definitely planning on racing it because otherwise they would have never named it.
No, that's right.
Let me see if I can find out who has it real quick. Matter of fact, here's an update, fellas. It just worked yesterday at Keeneland on 326. It went 3 furlongs in 37, and it breezed from the gate. So this horse, just by the way that the works are coming and that the work was from the gate at Keeneland, means that they're planning on racing this horse in April in one of the early 2-year-old races. So again, you never know what happens from this point forward, but this horse is going to, or the way that they're training it and the way that they named it, they're planning on racing this horse at Keeneland in April.
Yeah, you don't do gate works on 2-year-olds until you're pretty close to getting them ready to run. So that's Troy's 100% right. And
in Kentucky, you have to name them to get recorded works as a 2-year-old. So
yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really good point, and
thank you, Chuck.
Might be one.
I wish Ben would have thanked me for that information.
This is the first one we've had that we know has had a workout right through the auction.
Yeah, and named. This is the 1-2 punch right here.
This is going to be a great horse, for somebody that's looking for some action right away, right? Like you guys are saying. So
that's what I think.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a chance. I mean, that like you said, the horse will be racing soon.
Yeah,
that's like I said, we haven't had any of those. It's been speculation, but as we get closer to racing, as these horses hit the racetrack, we're going to have a lot more information about them. So
Yep. Alexandra's Song. Just remember that.
All right.
Ooh, look at this one. You know, you gotta love the first dam has 2 horses that made over $100,000. 5 horses to race, 4 winners. It's just one of those things that you just look at and you go, you just never know when the great one's gonna come.
That's true. I mean, she's produced winners. Um, the second dam was a stakes producer, and the third dam was a big time stakes producer. So it's a potent family.
Yep,
Summerfront gets racehorses. So and,
you
and
know,
a lot of them run early.
absolutely. And this horse, his name is Vera Cruisin. Vera Cruisin.
Another one with a name.
Yep.
Interesting.
And let me just see who owns this little GoDaddy here. So Kenny McPeak bought this horse, and Kenny McPeak, is a trainer, but he's also very well known of finding really spectacular horses at a value. He bought Curlin for $57,000, and there's a laundry list of horses that he bought out of sales. So this horse has a real shot here. And just looking again at the pedigree, 8 foals, 6 starters, 4 winners. This horse sold at the Keeneland September sale, which is always, the older brother sold there, and this one sold at the Fasig Summer Yearling sale. It's pretty. I'm just looking at it like if I would buy this horse, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty attracted to this horse right here.
All right. Number 5.
Before we go to 5, just 1 second. The pretty cool thing is, we talk about everything that happens in the real world. We could simulate in the game of silks. This horse was a $10,000 yearling purchase, or short yearling, which is basically a couple of months before he turns into a yearling. Someone bought that horse for $10,000 in November and sold it literally 7 months later for $110,000 as a yearling to a guy like, again, Kenny Peak, who everyone in the business has, respect for finding undervalued horses. So this again is a pretty exciting horse for us in the game of silks.
Definitely. Great. Hard Spun.
Before we even get to this, the hard spun line with Kitten's Joy Mare has been just proven over and over and over again. So this pedigree, just as a pedigree that goes ahead and makes money, is spot on here. So
Yeah, this one's named as well 4 Strong Winds.
look at
He
that
was
name.
an RNA for 95,000 at a Keeneland last fall. The horse has had the dam has had some success, and like you said, it's a good cross. Hard Spun has been a good sire for a long time.
Yeah, don't forget this horse had a full sister in 2019 called Sister Seagull. Did not go through the sale and made $383,000. And that's a full sister. And I know we talked about Noble Mission, but this horse was bred to Noble Mission a few times over. Again, to me, more than likely we're going to see this horse on the turf, of course. But it's got a great pedigree. It's got 6 foals, 5 starters, 3 winners, almost $500,000 made for everyone that is, that has raced the horses. And again, this horse was a $95,000 RNA. And amazingly, the sister that I told you about that made $380,000 was a $95,000 RNA also. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at the cross between Hard Spun and Kitten's Joy mares. There's been 8 foals, and they've made $894,000. So
Yeah.
Obviously it's a cross that works.
Yep. I will tell you, this is, I know I wasn't on last week, but this one is 1,000 times better than last week.
Well, yeah. We got regionalized last week.
Ooh.
A horse, Baltioro.
Richmond sire. What a young pedigree this is, huh?
Yeah, a really, really young pedigree. Obviously, Cheeky Cherub is this is her first foal, so she doesn't have much of a track record to go by. But she comes from a very, very good family, Harbor Springs, who I believe was Broodmare of the Year one year in Kentucky. But she's a half sister to a real famous sprinter named Groovy. She produced Boston Harbor, who was a champion 2-year-old colt, who was a good horse trained by Wayne Lucas back in the day. But
And a great broodmare sire.
Yeah, very, very good. It's a nice pedigree. There's, obviously the dam is young, so she's a little bit unproven. But Baltioro has been a tremendous sire of all sorts of runners, and like, to me, Baltioro was just a horse that they all run. And I would look at the first 2 dams as a opportunity to maybe not have to pay quite as much as you would for a horse by Baltioro out of a dam that was a stakes winner per se. But there's no reason why this can't be a really good horse.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact. Yaffa, who's one of our broodmares, was 14 days after ovulating, after trying to be, or was impregnated by Baltioro. So next year, around this time, Tropical will have its first Baltioro.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ben. Fed Biz, one of Chuck's favorite stallions. Chuck, what was that horse, that Fed Biz horse that you had, that really big thing? That you were literally on the Kentucky Derby Trail for a short time with?
Yeah, that was on the Kentucky Derby Trail for like 2 days. I think it's pulling a cart now somewhere in Iowa.
Well, again, it was 2 days.
Yeah, it was brief, but it was.
He was good looking, wasn't he?
Yeah, very, very much. I mean, this horse is this fillies. We have all fillies so far, right? It's been all fillies. Really good pedigree. You go back to the 3rd dam, Maple Jinsky had just an impeccable pedigree, and she was, you see the names, Tail of a Cotty, who's a good stallion.
Yeah.
Pleasant Home, who was a really good horse. Country Hideaway was a really good horse. And Sky Beauty, who was, one of the best mares in New York in the last 50 years. You go to the 2nd dam, Yorktown was a Canadian horse that won everything up there. Wayburn just won the Gotham a couple of years ago. He's actually still racing. So this dam has produced a Del Mar graded stakes horse. So this is still, even though Fed Biz is not highly desirable at this point. He has done better since he went, relocated to Canada. But he is, this filly's got a great female family.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you look just the sires of the three dams, AP Indy, Sunday Silence, and Nijinsky are three of the probably 10 most influential stallions of the last 50 years. So, there's a tremendous amount of power on the female side of this horse.
You are 1,000% correct on that, Chuck.
It's funny, a horse like Sky Beauty, if she raced these days, she would have made $8 million.
Yeah, easy.
All those races she won, they were 150,000. They're all 800,000 now.
And, don't forget Giants Causeway too, right? Like you said, is one of the premier stallions of this generation. And at one time, you were paying $500,000 for a no guarantee to breed to him, and he could have bred as many horses as you wanted to. So this pedigree is rock solid.
Peace and Justice.
I like that name.
Now we're going to the regional to Pennsylvania. Get some nice pretzels.
Peace and Justice isn't really a big time sire on a national scale, but he's had a lot of good horses in the Pennsylvania program. This horse is a Pennsylvania bred. So it'll be racing most likely at Penn National Parks and Presque Isle Downs. They do have a year-round program. In the summer, they have 3-track racing. There's plenty of stakes. There's plenty of Pennsylvania bred races. And this horse, for a Pennsylvania bred, has got quite a bit of, regular black type in her family. This is not regional black type. Most of these horses are horses that, won at, good tracks. So, if you live in Pennsylvania, this is one you probably should take a look at.
Amazingly, that this dam has only bred to one stallion, Peace and Justice.
Yeah, well, that's probably the owner of the stallion and the owner of the dam may be the same person.
Could be one and the same.
Yeah, but I mean, if you just look at Peace and Justice, he's done 3 crops. Now you got to remember, regional stallions don't breed like Kentucky stallions. They're not going to get 175, 200 mares. And even so in Kentucky, the only ones that get those kind of numbers are the young popular stallions, or the big time ones that stand for big money. In regional markets, horses, they're smaller. They're just not that many. I think what's there, like 900 foals in Pennsylvania, Troy?
Oh, I don't even think so.
Yeah, maybe not even that many. So this horse has had 32 winners in 3 crops, meaning that's a lot for a stallion. I mean, he might have only seen 75 mares tops, and that's a pretty good percentage. And he's had quite a few horses that have made good money. So if like I said, if you live in Pennsylvania, this horse is probably going to be racing there, and you're going to race in Pennsylvania bred races, which you don't have to be Secretariat to win races in Pennsylvania.
You know what, Chuck? That's pretty spot on. You do not have to be Secretariat.
I left a lot of room for leeway there between the Pennsylvania bred and Secretariat. There's a lot of space there, but you get the message.
I got it loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to think.
Be the next one-time Richie.
In 2022, there was 248 Pennsylvania breds.
248. Oh, man. So you figure, 750 Pennsylvania breds foaled the last 3 years, and that's foaled. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
they made the races. This horse is at 33 winners, 32 winners. That's pretty damn good, actually.
It's not bad, and I will tell you, I'm scrolling through the first 100 breds, and there was 3 Peace and Justices, and honestly, I think Peace and Justice might breed less than 10 horses a year in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So in
Yeah.
reality, this is the rarest of rare.
Yeah, I mean, the odds are this horse is going to make the races and win. Probably as the odds of that happening are as good as you're going to get, period.
Peace and Justice. Remember the
There
name.
you go, man.
Bites top.
It's another region. We're in the regional section.
Yeah, but look at
This
this
is-
pedigree for New York. This is spot on right here.
Yeah, for a state bred, this is a great pedigree.
You know, look at
Spicer,
look at the
unfortunately,
second dam. You know, the second dam's dam produced Independence Hall, who is you know, a sire, right?
A stallion, yeah.
Yep. And then you got
Yeah.
Black Onyx, who was a great horse at its time.
No,
Wow.
there's I mean
This is-
the list of stake horses is long, and I mean these are grade 1. Desert Stormer won the Breeders' Cup. Brent, the Better Lucky, Sahara Gold. These are all, you know, top grade 1 races. And this is a state bred out of Lemon Drop Kid mare, who has makes this filly a half sister to Street Gem, who is a stakes winner a dual stakes winner at Monmouth Park. And as it, like I said, it's New York bred, and I think, Troy, you liked Speitster, but and unfortunately he passed away.
Yeah, you know, there was a Oscar Performance 2020 horse called Lady Louise. They paid for $120,000. This first dam, you literally had 13 foals, 10 starters. Like, you know, you can't really ask more than that. These horses are race horses. A matter of fact, this horse was purchased just the other day. Or not the other day, was purchased for 17,000 in the FASIC October yearling sale by an end user who races horses. So this horse, I do not think you have to think long and hard that it's going to end up in New York and it's going to raise.
Yep, agreed.
You know, the dam, you know, like I said, she's produced a lot of horses, but she was bought, you know, in a breeding sale back in the day by one of the leading breeders for $460,000, and then has gone through sales again and has sold for 175,000. There is just a tremendous amount of pedigree in being a New York bred and a filly. There's a lot of upside here.
Last but not least, honor code.
I love honor code.
Another New York bred. This
Another
actually
New
was
York bred.
the regional section of the auction. Ended up with 3 regional horses. It's out of a first foal out of a Curlin mare. It's a really good horse in the second dam, Preaching to the Devil.
You know, Preaching to the Devil again is by Pulpit, right?
Yeah.
Which you go through the same, you know, bloodlines of honor code, right? So
Yeah, Pulpits by EPND and Honor Code.
yeah. So
Right.
here you gotta have to a horse that's, you know, made 242,000 and is a sire and you know, being a regional sire, and now you have, you know, again, honor code in the same lines. happens to be a young stallion, who is doing really, really well. Again, the only fault that people see with Honor Code is that he's a little, late, that you're not going to really see him very early as a 2-year-old. He likes to stretch out a little bit, but the nice thing too is we're finding out that he can go in the dirt and the turf, and they race. So again, being in a regional New York program where they have a lot of long distance races, they have turf everywhere. As a matter of fact, 2 turf courses in most of their racetracks. This is definitely bred to be a very successful New York bred.
Yeah, no doubt. It's got a nice pedigree for New York bred. Honor Code can get a good horse, that's for sure. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of graded winners, but all of the ones he has are mostly grade 1s.
Yep.
So you're going to get, you just look at Max Player, who's won the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Maracuja won the Coaching Club American Oaks at Saratoga. She beat, what's her name in that race? Malathat. Honor AP was on the Derby Trail, won a bunch of races in Southern California before he got hurt. And he's actually a sire now as well, Honor AP.
Yep.
So it's not as though this horse can't get a top quality horse. And
then there's a
Curlin,
4-year-old coming back this year called Always Above.
yeah, there we go. And there's no doubt that Curlin can be a definite, top broodmare influence. Curlin's by Smart Strike, who's been a very, very solid broodmare sire, and
Yep.
there's no doubt that they're going to add stamina to the pedigrees, and this is a New York bred. This isn't a Kentucky bred, so you have all the New York bred conditions and all the stakes. So she's pretty good.
A lot of fillies today.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, that brings us to an end. Like always, everything's going to be out to the community tomorrow. Pedigree pages, the catalog, and then let's see which ones are going up for Dutch auction.
Look forward to it.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
it's a good group this week.
Well, thank you for
Absolutely.
everyone joining.
Go UM.
Thanks, boys.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
See ya.
You guys.